So let's have a look at the front lit lighting pattern. Now the ladies are going to love this one. So if you're a lady, this is the pattern for you. The other one works very well for the gentleman because we're getting some shadow. There's also other situations where we would use the offset lighting pattern. It can help us to narrow or broaden the face depending on where we place our shadow. And we'll get a chance to show you some of that a little bit later on. So let's have a look at this one. This one is classic beauty lighting. Now, this is what's going to be used when models take pictures and you see them in the magazines. A lot of the time when you see a really beautiful image, this is the lighting pattern. Let's just have a look at the setup. What we've got is our simulated window light. We've got our camera. We've got our subject. Now you can see this big shadow here, but just ignore that. When you use a big window light, remember guys, you don't want to be able to see the sun in that window. If you can see the sun, it's hard light. If you can't see the sun, but you can see the sky, that's soft light. We want a nice soft light, and then when we get that, we won't see these heavy shadows behind. This software doesn't render the shadows sometimes very well from large light sources, so that's why you're seeing that. But as you can see, we've got the window here, the camera in front of the window, then the subject, and then we've got the wall behind us. Now, whenever we're taking a portrait, we want to have clean background around the subject. That's often not possible, especially with a mobile phone, smartphone camera. And the reason being, we come back to that 30mm lens and it brings all the background in. But what we need is just a clean spot behind the subject's head. So we don't want any bookshelves poking into the side. We don't want any plants sticking out the top of the head. We just need a clean enough space for our background. And this goes for this lighting pattern and the offset lighting pattern. In fact, it's part of any type of portraiture. Make sure the background behind you is relatively simple. Always try and keep it plain and simple. You don't want loads of stuff behind you. So in this instance, you can see we're using a backdrop, or we'd use a wall. It's nice and simple, it's clean. And we'll show you how to deal with stuff in the background when we get to the editing stage. As you can see, very, very simple. Now, what I want you to notice here, it's really important, is the camera is above the subject. Notice how the subject is sitting. Now, they're leaning forward ever so slightly, and because the camera's above them and they're looking into the camera, it's lifting the chin. Now, what this is going to do for the subject is going to lift the chin. It's going to make the face stretched forward. It's going to tighten the skin on the face, and it's going to be much more appealing. And this goes for male and female subjects. So by lifting, by putting the camera up and looking into the camera, and you can see we've probably got the camera just around the top of the head, and we're pointing down. Now, it depends on how full your face is, how high you need to go. If you haven't got a full face, you probably only need a slight elevation. But if you've got a full face, like myself, the higher you go, the better and more flattering it's going to look. Obviously, we don't go too high so that we look like someone's taking a picture from a balcony. We need to keep it looking natural. And we'll show you how that looks in real life a little bit later. But I want you to understand where we've got the camera. And obviously, you're seeing a stand here. But remember, all you need is a chair with your selfie stick on it. Lash the selfie stick to the chair, attach your camera, use the bungee cords or something similar, and then you can just telescope the camera up and down on the selfie stick. And what you've effectively done is created your own tripod, your own stand, really simply and easily. Now, you can actually buy tripods for your iPhone, and not expensive, and you might want to do that if you want to take loads of selfies or you want to take pictures of other people. A lot of people are going to be asking, why don't I just hold the camera in front of me? Because as soon as you hold that camera in front of you, the traditional selfie look, you're going to be stretching your arm forward. It's going to be pulling your neck a little bit. You're not going to be looking natural. It's not going to be a portrait image. So that's why we take the camera, we put it on a stand, and we stick it like this because we're stabilizing the shot as well. And the other thing this will do is if you're holding it and you're moving a little bit, you might blur the image. But if it's on a stand, it's really, really easy, and your hands are then free to concentrate on your pose and how you're actually looking. So that's why we put it on a selfie stick and get it at this angle. But let's have a look at what this lighting actually looks like on the face. Now, what you're going to get with this lighting situation, you're going to get some nice light in the eyes. You're going to get a nice catch light. This is really, really going to be really pleasing for the ladies. you're pulling your chin up. Now, when you look at this image, it doesn't actually look like you're pulling your chin up, even though the angle was quite acute. But what we've got here now is we've got nice, tight skin around the chin. It's going to pull the cheeks, and it's going to create a much more compelling image. Now, gentlemen, what you might want to do at this stage is just drop the forehead ever so slightly and look through the eyebrows. So the eyebrows and the top of the eye are touching. Try that. That's a typical, what I would call a boxer look. So it's a little bit tougher, a little bit harder, but if you just want to create a little bit more masculinity about the image and you want to use this lighting, just drop your forehead a little bit until the eyebrow and the eye, so you're hiding this part of the eyelid as much as possible. But when it comes to the ladies, you can see this is really soft, it's really pleasing, really nice light. So this is what I would recommend. So let's go back and just quickly review that lighting setup. As you can see, really simple. Here's your window, camera in front of the window. You're sitting in front of the window and the camera, and then you've got the wall behind you to give you that nice, clean background. Really simple, really easy, and you're going to create some beautiful images. You really, really want to see what you can do and what you can create and share with other people, inspire them as well with how you can take a really good quality selfie with this simple setup.